Welcome back to the show, guys. And today I have Sophia V. She is a Metaverse enthusiast, a wrestling fan, a Twitch streamer, and I'm looking forward to learning more about her, what obstacles she's faced, a little bit about what she does, and we're just gonna have a good time. Welcome, Sophia.
Hey, what's up, David?
I'm doing really well. I'm actually excited to have you on since I've seen a lot about you as far as like wrestling and the metaverse and how you do Twitch streaming and how I forgot to mention how with your podcast you also invite people that have different perspectives on life and society, and it's very some of the episodes I've listened to, and it's very heartwarming to see that, and I'm looking forward to learning about that about you. So tell me a little bit to start off. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What was your upbringing like?
Well, I was born in Africa. So I'm part African and part European. And so I was born in Africa, but then I spent like my teenage years in London. So my London like hoods, I don't know. So you're from Florida, so you must be like familiar with the hood concept, but I grew up in like the hoods of London. So I was a little street rat. Like I thought I was like a G.
Yeah, they call what do they call it there? The slums?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, like that. And just kind of really always been into wrestling.
Okay. And did you ever face any difficulties like growing up?
I still face difficulties now though, you know. I would like to think I am intelligent. And I think because of my body structure, people don't want to hear me talk.
Exactly.
And then get naked.
It's so funny because
it's horrible because I could
yeah.
like have the most like academic conversation and I'm very like, talk about politics or whatever, and they're like, no, I just want to see your boobs, and it frustrates me because like I want to be a pioneer in like
Right.
casting and people just want to see my boobs.
It's so in a sense degrading how a lot of people misconcept just by appearance. They're like, oh well, she's very attractive, and so it must be that she's not very intelligent. And it's so wrong, the way that society labels people. You like they say, don't judge a book by its cover. Get to know the person.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
So, like for myself, like I started this because I struggle with my disability and self-image and how people used to perceive me. So I said, why not start sharing my story, sharing my journey, and eventually opening up to people that need a voice to be heard. A lot of people are afraid to speak out because they don't have a platform to voice their opinions, voice how they feel, and share their own journey. And so this is why I do what I do now, so to just motivate people. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, it's the thing is you and I are like you're kind of like an advocate like myself. You advocate for people. I've seen your posts. I think I listened to one of the episodes about a homeless individual that caught you off guard, and you're like, man, this is incredible, and it's like it was really cool.
Thank
really
you.
cool. And then you do the Twitch streaming. Is it like just gaming, or do you do like do you talk about different topics?
So I'm part of a Twitch sports team, so I cover pro wrestling.
That is so cool.
So like on Monday, I will recap Friday Night SmackDown and Rampage. And then some indies. I'm not really familiar with a lot of indies. For a long time, I was just WWE fan, like one of those toxic WWE fans that did not like any other promotion, didn't care about any other promotion. And then slowly I started to watch bits of AEW, and I fell in love with Kenny Omega's style of wrestling. You're wearing a tee. Penta and Ray, just like who else? The Young Bucks. I like their tag team division a lot.
Yeah, their tag team division is amazing.
Yeah, so I just started watching a bit. Like, I don't watch their weekly programming, but I'll watch the highlights on Twitch. And so on Monday I do wrestling show, and on Friday I do a wrestling show where I talk about Monday Night Raw and Dynamite, and then some indies in between. Like, if somebody shows me something, because I've got people who watch my show in Europe, and there are like German Federation, like there's other like small indies in there's NXT UK as well. So yeah, like in Scotland there's some promotions as well that like Drew McIntyre started at. So yeah, just covering like all things wrestling from on Monday and Friday. And on Wednesday, I record my podcast live on Twitch. And then Tuesday, I pretty much like just talk about what's going on, current events in the news. And then Thursday, yeah.
Awesome. We need more people like you in the world that's willing to like cover what's really going on. No, don't sugarcoat stuff. And a lot of people don't realize that, we do things for a reason, especially when we're doing advocacy and promoting awareness. Like just recently here in the US, one of the top universities in the US here, I actually petitioned to have the lights turn green for World Cerebral Palsy Day on October 6th. And they tested out the lights to turn them green on the reflection pond, and they worked, and they sent me the picture, and they said they're willing to hopefully do it in October. So to have one of the top universities in the whole United States do what I'm trying to do, and after pushing for it, it's awesome.
That's incredible, honestly.
So like I said, I take a passion for it, and it seems like you're passionate about what you like to do. And speaking about getting it back into wrestling, where did the term "the voice of professional wrestling" come from? The pretty voice of professional wrestling. Sorry.
Okay, so because so first of all, on Twitch there is like 5 streamers that cover pro wrestling. In 8 million streamers, there's only 5 that cover pro wrestling. And Twitch isn't really a place for pro wrestling, it's a gaming platform. And so when I started covering pro wrestling, especially because look at the way I look, people used to come into my chat and go, "Are you 5 years old? Why are you watching wrestling? I used to watch it when I was a kid," and just like try to humiliate me for watching pro wrestling, and like make me out like there's first be like, "Oh my God, did you know that it's fake?" Like they were telling me something like a big reveal that I was not familiar with, and every time, all the time, even till today, people would say to me, "Why'd you watch wrestling? It's fake." And I'm like, "Why'd you watch TV? TV shows are fake. Spider-Man is fake." You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, let people enjoy what they like. Jeez, like,
Yeah.
And when it comes to people and certain things, it's like what we typically do is just ignore them. That's all we can do.
Yeah, it's true.
You do your thing, I'll do my thing. My like I say here, mind your business. So what obstacles are you currently facing now that you mentioned, as an adult?
Yeah, I think so. My obstacles, right? I'm gonna sound kind of like, okay, they're not huge obstacles, but I want to be taken serious. I really do. And I think it's very hard because I'm in a cross between like, being like sex symbol and then being taken serious. And you can't do both. I want to be like talking about world politics, but people don't want to hear what I have to say. They just would rather like look at me.
So you feel like your voice is being kind of dampened or covered by your appeal, by your
so
image.
much so. Oh my God, it's ridiculous, And but I think also like I faced a lot of the challenge, right? So I wanna like you're an advocate, right? For like Syria, right? I'm not Syrian or Afghanistan. Majority of my audience are American. They're not fond of these places. So it's hard because my audience, I don't know why, but I grew up in America. I'm not from America, but like that's where my audience is, right? And like I'm an advocate for Afghanistan and they don't care about Afghanistan. There's a lot of reasons to why Afghanistan is the way it is because of America, right? So it's like I'm trying to preach to them, like, look, I want you to help me help these people, and they don't care.
Right.
Because,
I'm
so
sure
yeah.
I'm sure you do a lot of the click block, the blocking. You do a lot of blocking, don't you? Every day, like you're like, oh great, this guy again, block, like just because you just don't. I'm sure you get a lot of those messages where they're like really like going like overboard, like like why would you say that? It's like I just want you to listen to me for my intellect, not for my body image. And I have a friend who goes through that. She's a Twitch streamer, and she goes through that every day. And so what she does is she covers the ID of the person, but she'll put them on blast. She'll put like the what they said online, but she won't put the ID. So it's like, so it's because she's out. It's like it's outrageous. It's outrageous some of the stuff that these guys write like on chats, and without realizing that you can just screenshot it and post it if you are malicious enough,
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't understand the mindset, but I mean, but I feel like slowly I am transitioning into a place where people are listening to what I'm saying, and it's taking a long time, but it is happening. Like I'm able to get guests, like I interviewed a journalist who was kidnapped by the Taliban, right? And like having a conversation with her, she was one of the top female journalists in the world. She is somebody that I admire. She's like my hero. And she agreed to it. I was so confused, like, because I just thought maybe she'll say no. And she said, yeah, and it was incredible, So I'm starting to, believe in myself, I guess. I think maybe it's me who doesn't believe that I'm
right.
I'm thinking, oh, they're not going to want to speak to me because I dressed a certain way. And maybe it's just me. Also, maybe people don't care. Who knows,
Sometimes it takes time for someone to develop a self-confidence and feeling confidence in themselves and getting out there. And I feel like you're at that point right now where you're like you said, you're at a crossroads where you're like, what am I really looking for in my life? Because I want to do this one thing where I want to inspire people, yet the more than half the population is not listening to what I have to say. And it's like, you're like, it's not fair. Like I put all this work only for people to think about, hey, let's objectify so-and-so, and I'm sure it's hard on you all the time having to put out this great content, but it's really getting overshadowed. What was I gonna ask you? Oh yeah, I know you're a big fan of the metaverse. I wanted to know how you got into that.
Okay, so when I was 12, I used to play games like Habbo Hotel, which is an open world concept, and basically exactly what the metaverse is today. Metaverse is backed by the blockchain, so cryptocurrency. But back in the days, I don't know how old you are, but there was a thing called Habbo Hotel, and you could buy money on there, right? So before we had monthly contracts on the phone back in the days, because I'm old, you would have to top up your phone with credit, like phone credit. So you could put like £10, $10, and you'd have $10 like minutes, right? And then you could text this number and it would convert into currency onto this game, and you could buy land, you could buy clothes, you could buy furniture, like everything, you name it, you know what I mean? And that opened the door for the metaverse concept today. And then so the metaverse really, I think, got really popular quite recently. But like a year ago, I think it was a year ago, I was randomly on Twitter and I saw somebody tweet, I'm giving away tickets to go and see Lou Elizondo speak. And Lou Elizondo is a former Pentagon agent who worked for the CIA and all that. And he says that the CIA, the America is running secret programs and that they know that aliens exist and all of this crazy conspiracy. I don't know if it's crazy, right? But he says that. And the thing is, because he worked for the Pentagon, you're more likely to listen to him, because if anyone knows that there's aliens, it's going to be Pentagon staff. And some random guy was literally giving away tickets that cost $300.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. He was like, I'm giving away tickets to this event. So I just said, okay, can I have one? And then he sent it to me. And so I went to the event, and then I made friends with one of the ladies that was working at the event. Like she was like, I don't know, you know, one of those people that you ask for directions and stuff, like camp staff or whatever. And I made friends with her. She's really amazing. And then I still kept in touch with them. And then I just said, hey, I want to do my own event on your platform, which is Verbella, which is like the Fortune 500 metaverse.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah. So then I've just been dabbling on different platforms. I'm platform agnostic. Just going on different platforms, trying different places, checking out different places, trying to meet more people, you know, and host really cool, fun events. So
on the topic of aliens, like we were talking about a little bit about this, like outside of the podcast. Do you feel like there's maybe other life forms that might exist outside of Earth, since everybody's been talking about Mars, going into Mars? Do you feel like eventually Earth will shift into that direction?
I think I would like to think that there is life on other planets, just because if it's just us or life on Earth, like humans, birds, not aliens, my bad, ants, sea creatures, and you have all that space out there and there's only life on Earth, that is very like bland, right? That's boring. Like you have all that space and nothing's there. As opposed to the idea that, yeah, there could be something. Do I think that they care about us? Not particularly. You know, I speak to so many people, like, you know, as you probably know, that I speak to a lot of people who have alien experiences, and I've had events and I've had these people come on my shows. Like the last week, I had Women of Ufology, and some of the most remarkable stories, like, you know, Lynn, I love her. And she says that she was part of a secret space program for 20 years. And she would travel the galaxies and kill other species. If you look at her, she doesn't look crazy. She's just a normal person. So then you think, well, why would this person lie? Like, there's more bad that comes out of this, that people think, oh, because they want to be famous, so they're willing to say that they speak to aliens. And I think, no, not necessarily, because there's other ways to get famous. And then society thinks they're crazy, that people think they're mad. I had Mark Sims on my show. He's the founder of like a big tech company. He said that he's had alien encounters. His wife left him because of that, because she was like, no, you what's the word, bipolar or something. He got put in a psychiatric ward, because society is not like, oh, if you say you speak to aliens, people are going to think you're crazy. You know, I spoke to Geraldine Orozco, who has had a documentary on TV. She had a show with Demi Lovato. She says she's had 24 alien babies, and her babies are in the spacecrafts roaming around the galaxy. Now, when you speak to people like that, what am I supposed to think? Like they're crazy? I really don't think these people are crazy. If that's what they believe in, if you know, who am I to say that they haven't had that experience? I am not God. So I can't say, oh, I've never had an alien encounter. I've never seen a UFO. You're in America, so you're more likely to have seen one. Have you ever seen a UFO?
I've heard like news reports that there's been sightings like in Texas and stuff like that, but honestly, it's just media. Like I really haven't seen like a really like concrete evidence as to if they've been seen. Like I've never seen one personally, but I know of people that may have seen it. Like I said, in Texas, was there was one that was spotted supposedly. So
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I've never had an experience, right? I speak to experiences. I don't think that they're crazy. Sometimes, like, there's one, I feel, I don't know, you just never know whether there's another woman that I spoke to, right? And she's got a TV show coming out on Netflix about her paranormal activities. And I just think maybe with her, she might be lying because she kind of broke character when I was speaking to her, which is quite interesting. I don't believe in ghosts. Next week, I'm going to interview a woman who's a ghost hunter.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, so she's basically a ghostbuster. She travels all around the United States and goes ghost hunting. I never spoke to anyone. I never even watched a show. You know, in America, there's a TV show and it's been on air for like over 20 years on Discovery Plus, and it's like a ghost hunting show.
Oh yeah,
It's,
yeah, those hunters.
I've never seen that. I don't know if I buy it, you know, like, and first of all, I'm terrified of like, I'm more likely to believe like aliens are not are harmless and they're not going to attack me than ghosts. I don't like the idea of ghosts. So I choose not to acknowledge, because with a ghost, I feel like with an alien, you can run away. Like you can run, you can hide maybe. With a ghost, like they can go through the door. Like you can't
Right.
you know what I mean? It's just like I can't live in a world, like imagine like there's dead bodies all around us, like souls of the people who passed away. I don't want to acknowledge that. So I don't believe in ghosts, but I want to speak to people who go ghost hunting because that's very interesting. You know, like how does, like, I spoke to spirit medium. Now this guy was something else. He speaks to Jesus. He speaks to Jesus and the disciples and archangels. And if you see him, he's like a normal guy. It doesn't look like a schizophrenic, you know, and he's there looking at me in my face like, yeah, I spoke to Jesus and Jesus is like my friend. And I'm like, what am I hearing right now?
I mean, people are different, and the thing is, you know, if you believe in a certain thing, that's them. You know, you can't knock them for it. You
Yeah,
gotta,
exactly.
you
Or like
know,
flat earthers, right? I don't know, honestly, what the shape of this earth is, right? I've not left this earth. I'm not a flat earther. I don't believe that the earth is flat, but I don't know what the earth is, right? I'm the person, I have to see it to believe it. I've never seen what earth looks like. So how can I like be like, oh, you're a flat earther, I don't want nothing to do with you, you know? And actually only found out about flat earthers like last year. I didn't even know that there was people in this world that believe the earth is flat, and there's a lot of them.
yeah, it's incredible what things we're discovering every day, and it's like right now they keep on digging up different tombs of, like just recently in Egypt, they recently uncovered the I think it's a tomb of Zeus,
Wow.
and you think to yourself, huh, you know, there's still apparently stuff out there. It's like with dinosaurs, like China just discovered a new dinosaur species.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it just keeps on, everything just keeps on uncovering itself. Like there's so much to still to be discovered that people don't realize that.
Mhm.
So what is your like your main objective, like as far as like the podcast and what you aim to do, like for yourself and for like the world and your community around you?
I want to bridge the unknown and kind of like show that these people aren't crazy. Like, like, okay, yeah, they believe in ghosts, but come and watch them have a conversation with me and realize like they're just like any other person. So you don't need to be like, oh my God, you believe in ghosts, I don't want nothing to do with you, or flat earthers. A lot of people would literally hate flat earthers because they believe the earth is flat. But they could be like, they're nice people, but just because of the belief that they have, you don't like them. I just don't understand. First, I've never been one to understand why people don't like people because of race, religion, or belief. Like, I don't understand. Like, even Islamophobia. I don't know what it's like where you live, but there was a time in the UK, especially, I'm sure in America, you're aware, like after 9/11, like people became very like hesitant towards Muslims because they were thinking, oh, Muslims are terrorists, right?
Oh, you think America is wonderful? It's not all that up to be, because like after COVID, people were just lashing out on Asian Americans. People were just not going to restaurants, Chinese restaurants. They were just saying, oh, every person that we see that's Asian descent, they were just saying, oh, they got straight up COVID or something, or this is making up ridiculous lies, like just because it came, and then they were saying just because it came out of a lab, quote unquote, that it's their fault, but you don't really know what actually happened.
Yeah, it's true. So I like to like give people like awareness, like, don't judge people. It doesn't matter what they believe in. Even if you don't believe in that, they're still people, and also create awareness of like different type of people, like a homeless person that I interviewed. Now he's no longer homeless, but he was on the streets. Like he was in like Skid Row and stuff. One of the most like,
wow, notorious areas, right?
yeah, like he was there, you know what I mean? And he's a hero. Like he overcame all the drug addiction, cleaned his life around. I wanna interview like some of the prisoners from Guantanamo Bay. That would be a dream, because a lot of them were convicted for terrorism when they weren't actually guilty. And even the US government came out and said, yeah, like let them go, they're not guilty, but there is still like no, like nothing. They haven't said anything about that. So I'd love to, and there's a movie called The Mauritanian. I'd love to interview Mohammed, because he was put in prison and tortured so bad by the US government in Guantanamo Bay. They did they told him they were going to rape his mother, like really disgusting things. You should watch that. This is the US government, by the way. And, he wasn't even guilty. He wasn't even part of 9/11, especially like Afghanistan right now. Afghan people have nothing to do with 9/11. Why is there sanctions in Afghanistan? And there's 95% of people in Afghanistan right now have no food. That's like 95%. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's the whole country.
Basically, and because of the sanctions, they can't even get food. So unless US decide to lift those sanctions, which I don't see it happening, these people are going to be in the worst humanitarian crisis in the world. Places like Syria, which is just it's like so heartbreaking, and it's hard not to think we're humans. I'm a human being, and I even though I live in one of the richest countries in the world, I think about people who are living in Syria and Afghanistan and, third world countries. And maybe because I was born in Africa, I've seen it, but like the conditions in Syria are inhumane. And there's these people didn't do anything to deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, like I tell people, aside from your image, you actually have a heart and a brain, and you care. I could see it, like you care about what's going on, and that's what we need more of, is people to be more aware of what's going on, and if you can, not sit back, but if you feel like it's something that pertains to you, take action.
Yeah. I'm learning that, though. You know what I mean? Like, you should speak out, because sometimes I feel like I might offend people. It's like Americans, I can't speak about Afghanistan because they don't like the place.
America is huge for cancel culture. We're canceling everything left and right. That,
I can't acknowledge Palestine because America doesn't acknowledge Palestine. The UK doesn't acknowledge Palestine. They say it's a Palestinian occupied state. I think that's like crazy. But I'm learning, and I see like all these like people who are speaking for the injustice. Yeah, like there's a woman who I love so much from Ireland. She's a member of parliament. Her name is Claire. I would love to speak to her. She fights so much for injustice, like in Palestine. She's saying like to the European Union right now, like, you know what, you guys have forgotten about the people in Afghanistan right now. They're on the brink of a humanitarian crisis. She's fighting like no one else is doing that. And I just think that like if you're gonna live, like use your life for something, you know, like worth living, kind of like.
right.
Yeah, and when you give your life to other people, you help other people. To me, like that's the most highest like thing, that the ultimate thing that you can do with your human life is to maybe help people, especially less fortunate people in war-torn countries. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's I really commend your drive to really promote not just self-awareness, but being a humanitarian, being kind, being really we are wanting to promote change, and that is something that we rarely see now in this world. And you're on the right track to really make a difference, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
like you were coining earlier, and you're not just the pretty voice of wrestling, but you're becoming the voice of change, of reason around the world.
Yeah, yeah, you know, it's just like for example, like in Syria right now, yeah, you know, a plot of land costs $100. Like people are so displaced there. Their whole country has been bombed by US and Russia and all these other countries. And you know, now they're just living like in the worst conditions you can imagine, right? So I just try to create, like, if you have like money, donate money to these people, because I just think it's our responsibility, you know, like even if I, you know, it doesn't matter if they're not related to you. Like I just feel that when you do
Right.
good things happen to you. And so, like, if I swear, if I had all the money in the world, I would literally buy all the land in Syria and all the land in Afghanistan and just give it to the people, you know, because it's just the conditions that they're living in. And Yemen has the worst humanitarian crisis right now. The food, like, it's insane. It's insane. And then we waste so much food in the West.
And then you know what I found outrageous? How we have these big fast food companies that we go to, and the food that's not consumed, it's put in garbage bins. And then I,
Mm,
and then I, and then I find my like you see people like taking it out,
mm,
or you see somebody buying food for somebody that's homeless, and they're like,
mm.
that's against the law. And I keep thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, this is like wrong. You're basically denying somebody food that doesn't have access to it, and we're trying to do a good deed by giving them some. Yet you think that just because we buy it out of your store that it stays there, and that we and it really doesn't make sense to me at all.
No, exactly. No, I agree. I think in London though, there is like a law where the restaurants give all the food to like the food banks. One thing I even like
Yeah.
even the supermarkets, which is a great initiative. Like I see there's one supermarket, right? You can buy feminine products like Tampax and sanitary towels in the shop, and they give it to homeless women, which is a great initiative, you
That is
know.
awesome. When I used to serve with AmeriCorps before I did the youth when I was before I was a youth advocate. I don't know if you know what AmeriCorps is.
I don't.
So AmeriCorps is an organization. There's three levels: state, federal, and local. So state meaning you help out, the state as a whole with like, statewide issues. Federal meaning you're traveling to like disaster areas like Haiti, all around the world, building, helping construct new homes, building new communities. And then there's local where I would did 4 years is I would go to like the local food banks, the rec centers, the local schools, and help out the youth. So it's a pretty incredible organization. Like if you're ever in the US and you get the opportunity to serve with AmeriCorps, it's a life-changing experience because of course you're not getting like money like that. It's about the experience, and they'll give you a stipend, and after your 2 years of service, they'll pay for school. You can go back to school and obtain your education if you want to, and you can get up to 2 educational awards. And I served out 4 years. I mean, I have my bachelor's, but I could go back for my master's right now and get my master's degree. You know,
That's amazing. What did you study?
I studied sociology.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, I love it. Helping my community, helping the youth, and making a difference in the world. It's something that you and I are really passionate about. You know.
Definitely.
So with that being said, where do you see yourself in, I would say, 5 years?
I really don't know. I would like to think that I'm not going to live in London. I don't really like London. It's very expensive.
I can imagine.
So either like my podcast is going to be like super popular, but the thing is, I like podcasting, but I feel like tech is my passion. I'm a nerd. And so like I want to do like metaverse events like full time and have big clients.
Oh, awesome.
And do like, like the event, right? And imagine like one day you're doing one for Pepsi, and then the next day you're doing it for like a Bollywood event. And then the next day you got like clients all over the world and doing like trade shows and doing stuff like that. So ideally that's what I want to do. Loads of humanitarian. I want to like at least buy land in Syria. I bought 2 plots in Syria, but I want to buy more land in Syria and give it to people who are in bad conditions. I'm gonna do a fundraiser for Afghanistan in a few weeks. And I don't know what the future holds for Afghanistan because the conditions are getting really bad over there.
Yeah.
Maybe one day America will lift their sanctions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of imperialism.
So, I kind of wanted to go back into like just about a few days ago, Elon Musk, he bought Twitter for 44 billion. How do you feel? Do you feel like he might, I guess, peel back what's going on with censorship and let people, be able to voice what they would like to voice? And also, do you feel like he might let Trump back on the platform?
So I don't know. I think obviously he needs to, he needs to abide by the US law. I don't know what the laws are with censorship, literally. I know that social media are private companies. Do I think that Trump will return? I think it will be hilarious. I'm not a fan of Trump, but I think it would be funny if he returned to Twitter. Censorship. I'm not really I can't remember what it was, right? I think someone said, it was a friend of mine who's a wrestling podcaster. It's a while ago, so I can't even remember. But I called them a CUNT as a joke.
Oh, okay.
And then I got banned from Twitter.
No, what?
Yeah, for like 48 hours.
Wow.
I called my friend a CUNT. So I'm not really fond of this like censorship. I also understand hate speech. If you're getting like 1 million people telling you they hate you and they want to kill you, that's horrible. Why should you live through that? But then, I don't know. Maybe it's a middle ground for both.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a really touchy situation. I thought it was interesting, the fact that he had bought Twitter, and I'm like, I wonder what's next for that. And who knows? I mean, right now with the way he might even decide to be like, oh, I want Amazon now. So he's gonna probably go after that too.
Hmm.
But
That'd be
we'll see. I mean, it takes years. So um, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so
It's
much. It's been amazing to be here.
it's been a it's inspiring what you're trying to do as far as all the humanitarian crises in the world. Your podcast, you as a human being, the fact that you're trying to really come out of your shell, uh, really overcome that label of, as you mentioned earlier, uh, sex symbol to advocate, and that is awesome. I feel like you should be a role model for a lot of the women out there that are in that situation that you're in, that are trying to do the same thing, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So where can I guess my listeners, where can they find you?
So twitch.tv/Sophia with a PH. And then Twitter and Instagram is Vocal Mind Sophia. So Vocal Mind Sophia is both my socials.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'll put those in the description. And I typically end the episode with, or I used to end it with, if I can do it, so can you. But I really loved, I've started to kind of embrace the fact that, you're on the show, you've overcome all these obstacles, you're making a difference. And I'm like, if we can do it, so can you. So
Yeah.
thank you, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. It's been a pleasure.
You too.
And also, you can find this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and any other major podcasting platform out there. Uh, if you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. And I will speak to you soon. Thank you.